Hi, I'm Tucker.
And I'm Sophie,
and
we're
Sofi
Tucker,
Tukker.
and this is our radio.
Radio Disney.
Hola amigos de Radio Disney, pues nosotros nos encontramos con Sofi Tukker and we saw your live show on Friday and it was amazing. How are you feeling, guys?
It was so fun. I mean, it was my birthday that day,
Yes.
and so there were like 40,000 people singing happy birthday to me in Spanish. That's definitely never happened to me before in my life. That was very cool.
Feliz cumpleaños a ti.
Gracias. Yeah. Wow. It was special.
Oh, thank you. Tell us about Bread. How was the creative process different this time compared to your previous albums?
Yeah, so we just put out Butter, so now we have Bread and Butter. And Bread, I mean, it was, honestly, both of them were just labors of love that took, we put everything into them, you know, visually and musically. They took years, and we really made sure every little detail was perfect. And I think it shows our, I wouldn't want to say maturity because I think we're still children in some ways, but it does show our growth, I think, in songwriting, in production, in attention to detail. Like, there's all these things that we really put a lot of care into that we didn't even know existed before, you know. And just having like sort of two albums to go together, you know, Bread and Butter, and they're super, super different. It just feels like we really followed through on a pretty like ambitious concept, and I'm really proud of it.
And it's very nice album, I have to tell you. But which rhythms of musical influences stand out the most of this album?
On Butter, I think it's mostly Sophie's musical influences. When we met, she was playing jazz, bossa nova music with acoustic guitar, and I was a house music DJ. And when we blended those two things together, it sort of made Sofi Tukker. But for this Butter album, we went back to Sophie's roots and sort of let her, you know, reimagine the songs in a more, you know, organic way.
Right. How was work with Sue George?
It was so cool. I'm such a huge fan of his, and I just saw him in Carnegie Hall like the 2 weeks before we were in the studio, and oh my God, his voice is like butter. It's incredible, and yeah, just getting to hang out with him honestly and hear his stories was something that I'll never forget in my life. He's so generous. He's so wise. He's been through so much. He's seen so much, and his perspective in the world is something I just feel really lucky to get to learn from.
With all these ingredients in your albums, how was to prepare the show last Friday?
It was really fun. That was a new version of our show.
Yeah.
And we were thinking before the show, we were like, do we do Butter? Do we do Bread? But we're doing Butter specifically 2 times this summer. We're at a jazz festival and in Las Vegas at a jazz club.
Wow.
So we're getting the Brazilian musicians who performed on the album to come fly in for that. So we're holding Butter just for that really special, specific weekend. But this was the first version of this show that we did. And it was more of like a big dance party. We had our dancers. It was pretty nonstop. We only stopped the music 1 or 2 times. Our old live show, we'd play a song and stop every time. And it just really felt like a big party. It was just fun throughout. It was an 80-minute set. So it was just kind of like a long, exciting, high-energy dance party. And I felt like it went really well.
And it felt like that, right? Because I was with my friend and never stops dancing last Friday. That's amazing. So, did you collaborate with another new artist for this album?
Yeah, so for Butter, we collaborated with Seu Jorge, Lineker, Hayel, Silva, and then Mari Merende and Sofia Ardesore, who we had done a song with before, but they're basically like Brazilian MPB artists that I'm a huge fan of, and we don't typically write music in that genre, so it was really cool to get to work with artists who are just completely in another genre, in another world. And you know, I think like if you say you know, Sofi Tukker working with Silva, it's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But we had the opportunity to do something really different. And it was really, really, really cool.
How do you balance your taste music and your taste music for matching this sound? Incredible.
I mean, so usually we find the Venn diagram, we find the thing right in the middle where, you know, both of us really love it. But I also think that as time has gone on, like for instance, this album is definitely more on my side of the Venn diagram, but he just like completely supported me going there. And vice versa, you know, like I think we're even more open-minded than we were when we started the band. And so there are times when, you know, Tukker will go down a path that maybe I wouldn't have thought I would be a big fan of. But then I am, and then I'm like, this is my favorite thing ever, and I never would have listened to this type of music before. I never, like...
I was going to say a good example is the Sleepyhead remake that we did with Passion Pit. It was one of my favorite songs growing up. I met Michael, who is Passion Pit, in New York last year, and that was just sort of something that I was really excited about and ran with, and Sophie sort of let me run with that, and she loved it, even though it's not necessarily what she grew up on or what she would have done on her own, and it's sort of the same thing. So I think earlier in our career, it was really important that we were establishing what Sofi Tukker was, and it was like right in the middle of where both of us are.
Right.
And now I think it's really fun to kind of like, okay, if she wants to go do that, you know, let her run with that idea. And also I love it, but it's just so good. It's not like what I normally would listen to, and I still love it.
It sounds amazing, but I have to question, or make this question: who is more perfectionist, Tukker or Sophie, when I'm making an album?
Depends what for. Yeah. Like lyrically, Sophie for sure.
Okay.
I don't care as much about words. But sound and sonics, me like by far.
Okay.
It's just, yeah, we just have different, it's good, very complimentary.
Yeah, I also think that both of us, like, he knows how to listen to things that I don't even hear. So he'll be like really stuck on this one sound, and I'm like, even if you made the change, I wouldn't even notice the change because I'm so focused on, like, I'm so perfectionist about my voice and about lyrics. And so I'm constantly thinking about that. And he's like, oh, I don't even care, do whatever you want, you know?
Are any lyrics on the album that feel special or personal for you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say all of them are really personal and special, but specifically, Hey Homie was a really cool song to write for Bread and for Butter, because for Bread it was a really personal song for both of us, and we were both going through things in our personal lives where, you know, there was somebody that we really connected with, but it just, for whatever reason, it didn't make sense in this lifetime to be with them. And so there's like this beautiful bittersweet tragedy around that we wanted to write about. And then for Butter, we were reimagining it and thinking, okay, if there's another singer on it, so Silva came in, like, what is the perspective of the other person? And so we decided the perspective of the other person is to say, you think it's not going to work in this lifetime, but actually, like, trust it, you know, like, love will prevail. And it was really fun to tell that story. And honestly, I just love Silva's voice so much. And he has this line in the song where he says, you're a sunny day in my garden. And that's on the album cover, because I just think that's like what we want Butter to feel like.
You two are the sunny days for us, and your music too.
Thank you.
Do you have a favorite song of the album, and why? Tell us.
I would say Jacare.
Yeah.
And Hey Homie. I think those are the two best reimagined versions. Actually, Kafune too. It's really fun to hear the songs in this way, but I think Jacare took on such a new life. Like, it's almost like reggae, and it's almost unrecognizable to the one on the Bread album, but it's so groovy and so cool. It just takes you like straight to vacation. It's crazy.
Oh, do you, Sophie?
Yeah, I mean, I really love Perfect Someone because it's so instrument forward. Like, and we don't have that many songs where it's not as much about the vocal, and like we're both singing on it, but then there's these beautiful instrumental breakdowns that are just like, minute-long solos that we've never done that in our whole career, like having a song like that. So it's really cool every time that comes on. I'm just like, we did it on Bread as well, where like that song is more instrument forward. And I really love it. It's really cool.
That doesn't